This is Candor Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into the show. But before we get into the show, don't forget to check out our website, sylviaexpress.com. What's up, fabulous people? How you doing on this wonderful Saturday? Okay, oh my gosh. Sadness. A lot of sadness. It was an official breakup. Cohen, this is the scoop. I mean, he finally packed up and moved on. The U-Haul was seen leaving the White House. A few tears were shed. And Trump was over there waving goodbye. He walked back into the White House with bunny slippers on. Little bunny slippers. And he sat in the Oval Office. And he just watched as the U-Haul just drove off with Cohen. It was very sad. Literally, oh my God, it was such a tragic sight. Just kidding. Are you kidding me? Cohen went all the way off. There was no hoorah, hoorah, okay? Cohen went all the way off. This was an official breakup. Cohen went rogue. I want you to hear what Cohen's doing right now. Here it is.
He famously said he would take a bullet for President Trump. That's what appears to be changing. One of the big questions I asked him is, what will you do if prosecutors come to you and offer you leniency in return for information on President Trump? And added this with emphasis. My wife, my daughter, and my son have my first loyalty and always will. I said, there's a good chance that President Trump and his team are going to come after you. And this is where he also stiffened his spine. He actually visibly straightened up and then said this: I will not be a punching bag as part of anyone's defense strategy. I am not a villain in any story and won't allow others to try and depict me in that way.
And what's been noteworthy today, Amy Parnes, is that he has gone to his Twitter page. He has removed the part, like in the profile section where it says he removed the part where it referred to himself as Trump's personal attorney. He changed his cover photo. It was some Trump event, something related to Trump, and now it's this American flag. And when I saw this, I was like, is this the official Twitter breakup? This is a man who once said he would take a bullet for President Trump, and now the president's former personal attorney isn't so sure the president will have his back. Friends of Michael-Cohen tell CNN he doesn't believe the president would grant him a pardon. This comes as Cohen hires an attorney who once worked as a special counsel for President Clinton during the 90s. All of this before he's even been charged with a crime.
Okay, now the thing that's so amazing about this whole situation is that even Fox News is coming to the realization that they cannot, even if they wanted to, how do I talk? Do I know how to talk? No, I don't know how to talk. Okay. They can't protect Trump on this one. Even if they wanted to try a way to protect him on this one, this Michael-Cohen situation is a nightmare. Here's Fox News.
About the substance of what he told ABC, if it's true and if he means it, should cause the president sleepless nights. I mean, Michael-Cohen was not only the president's lawyer, he was his fixer. That is, the president asked him to do things that lawyers don't typically do. You see this problem, make it go away. You know where to get the cash. Plan is.
Should the president be worried?
Yes.
Why?
Well, if Michael-Cohen is telling the truth, that he who once said he would take a bullet for the president now can't wait to roll over for him. He obviously knows something that the feds are interested in hearing, and they will soon go through a procedure whereby he will tell them what he knows, and they'll decide whether or not they want to use it. Now, they won't do that until they have leverage over him, and they won't have leverage over him until they indict him.
Okay, now did you hear Fox News? They're literally saying that Trump should have sleepless nights, okay? Because this is really a very serious situation. This is way different than all the other things that have gone on. We're talking about the right-hand man, the fixer, the person that was involved with the illegality, the person that was covering up the criminality, okay? Now listen to this. Cohen, after he did that ABC interview, okay, he's walking on the streets of New York, and listen to what someone said to Cohen. Here it is.
Today. Don't be a rat, Mike. If you could...
Did you hear that? Said, don't be a rat, Mike. Look, I told you that Cohen cannot just be walking around New York City. This is the city of John Gotti, Paul Castellano types. You can't just be a snitch. But here are some of the clues that he wants to talk anyway. I mean, he just won't be skipping down the street in New York City. When he does, he'll be walking out in disguise. I'm telling you, he'll get a wheelchair, a leg cast, and a wig. He be calling himself Michael-Cohen. He's like, I'm Michael-Cohen, Michael's abandoned cousin. Like, you're not walking around New York as a snitch, okay? So that's just not going to happen. But here are the clues. I got to get serious sometimes. Okay, but here are the clues. He hires a Hillary Clinton lawyer and a former lawyer for the Southern District of New York. Now, the Clintons' lawyer, he holds allegiance to the Clintons, which means he's not likely to take a case in which he believes it would anger the Clintons. He clearly didn't believe he had a conflict of interest, and neither did Michael-Cohen. And if he doesn't believe that he has a conflict of interest, then the presumption is that Cohen's interest is no longer aligned with Trump, because Clinton's interest and Trump's are definitely in conflict. So if you're going to hire a lawyer that has a pre-existing relationship with the Clintons, you have to make sure there's no conflict of interest. And if you no longer have any interest with Trump, as Cohen clearly is signaling that he does not, then you can have this lawyer represent you. So he hires him. Another thing, Cohen has to believe he actually has enough to cooperate. They are not just going to let him cooperate. Am I like my blah, 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 blah? They're not going to just let him cooperate because he previously worked for the president. He would have to be offering something substantial for them to want him to cooperate. And there are people who are telling him that now is a good time for him to cooperate. That is not the truth. They have to want him to cooperate, and he has to be able to provide them with enough evidence that makes cooperation worth it for the prosecutors to make a deal. Because believe you me, he's trying to get a sweetheart deal because this guy is looking at a lot of time. Otherwise, if he doesn't get some kind of cooperation deal, he's likely going to prison. Where Bubba's over. Okay, let me just stop. Okay, so okay. So what does he do? He signals to the prosecutors that he has a story to tell. He scrubs any history or any evidence of any continued affiliation with Trump. He scrubs his page on the 4th of July, symbolizing his own freedom. He disagreed with Trump, claiming that it was a witch hunt. That this whole thing with Trump, like, this is a witch hunt, it's a witch hunt, it's a wicked, whatever. God, it's just, ugh. When he's screaming all that stuff all the time, Michael-Cohen disagreed with him. Michael-Cohen said it's not a witch hunt. He gave praise to the government. He didn't even deny that Trump knew about the stormy-Daniels payment. So essentially, in a few words, just very kindly, very few words, imposter, you are fucked totally. Like, you are in so much trouble right now. If and when Cohen starts talking, which I presume some preliminary discussions have occurred with prosecutors. I'm sure he's reached out probably to the prosecutors. His attorneys have probably reached out to the prosecutors. It's a certainty at a minimum that if those conversations continue, and if he's given the opportunity to basically be able to cooperate, then it's very likely that at a minimum he's going to implicate. I'm telling you today, I can't talk. At a minimum, he's going to implicate Trump in the stormy-Daniels payment, which is bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracies to commit bank and wire fraud, and maybe even tax evasion. Also, even if they don't indict Trump now on those whatever charges or whatever charge they can find on Trump right now, and they don't indict him on them now, that doesn't mean they won't be waiting for him when his stupid ass resigns. Those charges aren't just going to go away because you're the president of the United States. No. When you get out of the office, they can definitely indict you on those ones. So even if Southern District of New York doesn't want to indict you, let's just say Mueller decides he wants to, who knows what's going to happen with that Mueller one. I'm just leaving Mueller alone right now. I don't want to speculate because Mueller is too much of a badass for people to be predicting him. When he does something, then I can interpret it. But until he does that, I'm not predicting it. So, but nevertheless, if Southern District of New York, even if they decide they're not going to indict right now, that doesn't mean they're not going to indict you. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, this is the thing. You're looking at multiple cases, multiple issues. So what it really, once he either resigns, he gets impeached, or people in the cabinet recognize that he's cuckoo over Cocoa Puffs, that he's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I mean, Jesus. Don't you guys recognize this guy is cuckoo? I mean, but once they recognize that, maybe they'll invoke the 25th Amendment. Those are his three options. And now his biggest cover-up con artist in Congress is going down and burning, atrociously burning flames. Jim Jordan's ass is literally on fire right now. His ass is on fire. Literally, it's burning and here's the background. Here's the background and current state of the allegations against Jim Jones. And you know what's so interesting? All the mainstream media were so cowardly, afraid to actually cover this story. Guess who's actually covering the story? Of all people, Fox News. But here's what basically is going on right now.
There are now 5 former Ohio State wrestlers accusing Republican Congressman Jim Jordan of knowing about a team doctor's alleged sexual misconduct. Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State more than 20 years ago. Fox has reviewed some of the emails written by former wrestler Mike DeSabato to Jordan, including this one from June 15th. Reverend James, the squeaky clean U.S. congressman from Urbana, who does not recall systemic sex abuse, wants to Speaker of the House despite his apparent lack of knowledge of systemic sex abuse. He concluded a May 6th email with hashtag rape cover-up, a way of life. DeSabato told Fox he sent the emails to Jordan to help him realize he needed a lead on what he suggests was common knowledge.
It was an uncomfortable joke that Doc would and wanted to give you a genital exam every time you saw him.
Okay, now listen to this. Jim Jordan, he was moving towards having Rosenstein, the key to protecting Mueller. Remember, Rosenstein is the key to protecting Mueller. He was moving towards having Rosenstein investigated and impeached. He used his oversight power to demand confidential information in an ongoing criminal investigation. He's berated and abused career agents just to protect the biggest flagrant foul in the history of the United States presidency. And he's bullied Democrats for years, minorities, women for years. He's a pathological liar. He even said that he has never heard Trump tell a lie. Here he is saying that.
Have you ever heard the president lie?
I've not.
Really?
You've never heard the president lie? You've never, are your ears, what happened? What happened? Are you deaf? Are your ears, are they clogged? Are you not listening to the words that are coming? The man lies literally every single 5 seconds. How could you say that you never heard him lie? That's the biggest lie in American history. Okay, so this is the kind of guy we're talking about. A guy that literally his ears are so clogged up with earwax, he's never heard the biggest pathological liar in the history of lying. He's never heard that person tell a lie. The biggest imposter ever on the planet, he's never heard him tell a lie. That's what he wants us all to believe. And now that his career is taking a nosedive, he went on Fox News and he even made it worse. He tried to bash the accusers until he couldn't bash them all. He couldn't explain why those other wrestlers that he couldn't smear, like the UFC champion, he revered Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan could not explain why those people that he could not find this conspiracy evidence against, why those people said that he was aware of abuse. Even if you say that these other people, whatever they said, these other people, you can argue that maybe there are things in their background or whatever that might make them suspicious, whatever. That's you could argue that. But how do you explain the ones that you can't explain or find anything in their background that says that there's anything suspicious about what they're saying? Like the UFC champion. He couldn't do that. Okay? And then if you watch the interview, even Brett Barr wasn't buying it. It was obvious because he kept looking at Jim Jordan like, will you make eye contact with me or what? Are you going to look at me or not? I mean, Jim Jordan legitimately could not look at him in the eye when he was asking him real questions about this scandal. This is a big scandal. I don't care what the mainstream media wants you to believe. This is a huge scandal. And the only reason I care and why this matters is because he and his cronies were the biggest hindrance to the Russia investigation. He was tainting the jury pool. He was demoralizing the investigators. He was trying to remove Rosenstein to protect Trump. And so now every single time he opens his mouth to try to stop the investigation, people are going to be looking at him like, nah, can't have pervert watcher a part of this. No, you got to have pervert watcher stand over there. Keep the pervert watcher in the corner. You know what I mean? People are not going to want to have anything to do with him. So now his power has been completely diminished. Okay? And let me just tell you something. Just think about this. Imagine how many congressional flunkies in the GOP, those cowards, those spineless cowards, how many of them are scared now that they might become the next victim of their own past? Just think about it. Who would have thought that this would have come out about Jim Jordan? Nobody would have expected this to be the story that was going to drop. So just imagine the kind of scandals that are probably in some of these other people's past and how scared they are to be affiliated with Jim Jordan or to be continuing down this path. You keep going for Rosenstein. Don't think that people aren't going to come after you. People are trying to protect democracy. Okay? So you have to think about that. So look, reporters started going to the Freedom Caucus members and asking them, if they publicly supported Jim Jordan, and suddenly, literally, all of them got laryngitis. I'm not kidding you. They got literally, they just could not talk anymore. Reporters were calling them. They're like, will you go on record and support Jim Jordan? And then people were like, sorry, I lost my voice. Call me next week. The reporters are like, sir, just quickly, will you go on the record and support Jim Jordan? They're like, no hablo es inglés. Call next week. Click. Nobody wants to go on record supporting Jim Jordan, because who wants to be associated with sex abuse scandal? Nobody. So, but anyway. So it's becoming apparent the biggest protector of Trump is going down in burning of flames. So it's becoming apparent more and more that the imposter is running out of time. It's just a matter of time before every ally or card he had, he won't be able to play anymore. I'll be right back.
Make a dawn in this. Drop that bomb buckler. I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip and tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost 50,000 for my Hancock. Ah, baby. Riding to the top. Driving haters crazy. Never gonna stop. I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip and tuck. Wrist watch, tip top, pockets on a milli. Give a toast to all my people. We like dilly. Pilot boys staying fly. Super Bowl like Philly. When they ask me if I'm fly, I'm like really. 3 steps ahead. Staying on the move. Don't listen to the gossip. It's barely ever true. Don't matter what you say. Just matters what you do. They criticize the dawn. I'm like, who the heck are you? I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip and tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost 50,000 for my Hancock.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. All right. So look, I really need to talk to the Democratic leadership real quickly. So if you can kindly indulge me, you want to listen to this, just let me send a message to the Democratic leadership. Dear Democratic leadership, this message is for you. In less than 4 months, there will be an election, and at this critical point in the American story, you haven't figured out a coherent, unified message. But that's not even my biggest concern. My biggest concern is that you haven't done anything to fight Trump. I could no longer stay silent or allow your passivity and lack of urgency to continue. While there are those that might be persuaded by your passive tweets calling Trump out, or your photo opportunities that seem to be so many these days, but I digress. Your photo opportunities may be exciting or motivating, but I can assure you, those of us that understand the urgency of this moment are quite aware that you aren't fighting. No, the people fighting aren't you. It's the base. The base marches, you come for photo opportunities. The base protests, you send encouraging tweets, usually with a picture, pretending you actually caused the protests. The base challenges the imposter and the atrocious GLP party policies. You send out tweets or fundraising emails about the urgency to donate. If someone can name the substantial thing they did to fight Trump or doing to fight Trump, I am more than willing to rescind my statements. But the truth is, Schumer and Pelosi want to tell you what's wrong and the terrible things Trump and his crime syndicate are doing, but what's missing every time is any plan of action to stop it. Have you heard them fighting to make sure the 2018 election system is secure and our votes are secure after the 2016 election? Are they fighting to stop Trump's SCOTUS nominee by whipping up the votes, or are they continuously just telling you what's at stake? Are they doing anything to stop Trump's excessive spending of our money? Are they doing anything to stop him from hurting our foreign allegiances? Are they doing anything to change the immigration policy abuse at the border? Not photo opportunities, those don't count. And videos of the horrors, those things don't count either. It took a judge to stop the abhorrent policies, not the Democrats. How about calling Jim Jordan to be investigated at a minimum for this scandal? Not one Democrat has had the courage. They didn't mind calling out Maxine Waters while remaining silent about the serious death threats she's receiving. They formed a unified front to get rid of Al Franken and Conyers, to get them both to resign. But not one can call for the GOP's most flagrant abuser of democracy, Jim Jordan, to resign. Some will say they don't have the numbers. They don't have the numbers to be able to do the things you're asking them to do. That's false. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the numbers to fight everything, but they have the numbers to fight. They aren't fighting. Their lack of will is turning off many voters. So I'm going to stop them from doing this right now, because we need those voters. What people aren't understanding is that not everyone is as enraged as others, and some are beyond enraged. Those that want to see fighters will tune out and not vote. I warned about that kind of voter who would tune out in 2016. Nobody listened. Those that are somewhat enraged want to hear policies. Democrats don't have a coherent message. The reliance on the imposter to motivate the base to vote is a huge miscalculation. If people start to believe there is no value in a Democratic Congress because Democrats don't fight and nothing will change about Trump with them controlling the Senate or controlling the House, people will not vote. So it's time to pressure the Democrats like never before. Demand that they fight. Demand it. Don't ask. Demand. The truth is, if we truly want to stop Trump, we need real leadership. I respect Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, but if they don't step up, they need to step down. This is not just a political battle where cowardice is paramount for Democrats. No, this is a battle to preserve the soul of democracy. It's a battle to stop the bleeding caused by Trump. It's a battle between morality and immorality. It's a battle to preserve the greatest experiment in history, the United States of America. It's a battle that cannot be fought alone. It's a battle that requires leaders to understand what's at stake, not just tweet about it. Now, there are members of Congress willing and equipped for this fight, like Adam Schiff, Maxine Waters, Ted Lieu, Rep. Swalwell, Kamala Harris, and others. Let them fight. Let them lead. They know what's at stake, and I can tell you what, if you let them lead, I'm going to tell you one thing. I bet you they win. All right, fabulous people, that does it for me. I was trying to keep this under 20 minutes. I'm telling you guys, but I just had a couple things I had to say today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And also don't forget, I'm going to put up the Trump regrets. And also to remind you guys that I still have that show. I need to show you guys. I need to do it. But honestly, it was 4th of July. I was kind of enjoying myself. Got a little distracted. I'm going to get it together, though. I'm definitely going to get it together because I need you guys to see this. It's going to be very important. So I definitely will post it on there. But don't forget to check out SylviaExpress.com. On Monday, I would definitely post the Trump regrets. I posted them last week, so I didn't have to wear the scarlet letter. I didn't want to wear the scarlet letter. But also, another thing, too, is, I'm just very, very glad to you Trump haters that I know you're still flagging my channel. But that's really, 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 really ridiculous because I don't give a fuck. Have a good weekend, every single person. Enjoy yourself, and remember this. Trump supporters, are you listening? Everybody's weekend's going to be better than Trump's. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.